The Karnataka High Court on Wednesday granted interim bail for 6 weeks to jailed actor Darshan, accused in the Renukaswamy murder case. Single Judge Justice S Vishwajith Shetty allowed the interim bail application filed by Darshan to enable him to undergo a surgery. Justice S Vishwajith Shetty reserved the order on Tuesday. In fact, he reserved the order on Tuesday regarding the interim bail application after the hearing detailed arguments from the actor's legal representative, senior advocate C.V. Nagesh and State Public Prosecutor P. Prasanna Kumar. The state presented medical reports in a sealed cover from doctors at Ballari Central Prison, where Darshan is lodged, and the head of the Department of Neurology at a government hospital in Ballari. Nagesh claimed that Darshan is experiencing numbness in both feet and requested permission for his surgery to be conducted at a private hospital in Mysuru, with the actor covering all associated costs. According to the prosecution, 33-year-old Renukaswamy, a fan of Darshan, was tortured and killed after being abducted by the actor and his associates. He was reportedly held in a shed in Pattanagere, where he suffered brutal physical abuse before his body was found dumped in a drain in Somanahalli. Let's go across to my colleague Vajiullah, who joins us over the phone line. In fact, who joins us live on more on this. Vaji, this is a massive, this is a big news, you know. The Karnataka High Court has finally granted interim bail for 6 weeks to actor Darshan, who enjoys a massive fan base not only in Karnataka but in South India as well. Do take us through the conditions of the bail order.
Well, Neha, yes, after 131 days, a murder accused Darshan has been given bail. He's also a very big actor. But this entire bail that has been given to him has been given on the basis of his spine injury. The order that was read out today was basically this, that he 6 weeks interim bail, where he can decide which is the hospital of his choice where he wants to get a treatment done. And after that, he will have to give a report in the first 1 week on his entire medical procedure, and he will have to surrender his passport because he could also be a flight risk, is what the prosecution lawyer had said. So on these basis, he's been given a 6-week interim bail. Now, what will happen is it's on Darshan to decide where he wants to get his treatment done. Yesterday, when we were hearing the court proceedings, and in that court proceeding, the lawyer of Darshan had clearly said the spine injury is very bad, and it is getting worse day by day, and that is why it is important for him to get bail on medical grounds. And he was wishing to go to Mysore because that is his home place, and that is where the Apollo Hospital he's been showing his medical reports from childhood, and that is why he wanted to go to Mysore. Yesterday during the debate, they had discussed this with the judge. The judge also gave a proposal of setting up a medical board which will look into the problems of Yash and his back injuries, and that will decide whether it will have to come to Bangalore. But today, all that has been squashed. The court has decided a 6-week interim bail, where Darshan has a choice where he wants to get bail. But from what we've learned from the sources, from his lawyers, is that his most preferable location will be Mysore, because his house is in Mysore, and the hospital where he's been taking regular checkups and medical, he has a medical history, is an Apollo hospital there. So he might be going there, but that is something we will get to know later in the day. But today, the biggest news is that Darshan will be coming out after 131 days. He was in jail for the murder of Renukaswamy, a supposed fan who was messaging the friend of Darshan, who was Pavitra Gowda. And in this case, he was in jail for the killing of Renukaswamy. And now he will be coming out of jail in the coming few hours after 131 days, Neha.
Right. Vaji, at this point, I'd also like you to take us through the case. So what exactly was the Renukaswamy murder case in which Darshan was arrested? And, take us through the details of the case first, before I ask you further more details of this case.
Well, yeah, Darshan was arrested for the murder of Renukaswamy close to 6 weeks, 6 months back, and it was alleged that he was involved from the planning of the kidnapping to the death of Renukaswamy. If we remember, there was CCTV footage of Darshan's car, which moved from his house to the shed where this entire incident happened. This happened on the fateful of August 12th, where Darshan is believed to have kidnapped Renukaswamy, a person who was messaging Pavitra Gowda, a friend of Darshan, and he was sending obscene messages. That is when a plan was hashed by Pavitra Gowda, Darshan, and his team, where they decided to kidnap Renukaswamy from Chitradurga, bring him to Bangalore, and teach him a lesson. So he was brought from Chitradurga to Bangalore, was kept in a shed. From there, they started torturing him, beating him, electrocuting him. And after, in that moment, it is said that Renuka Swami died and Darshan was also there. So all these things are pieced together. The police created a case where they made Darshan as accused number 2 in this entire matter. We've also now learned that there were the postmortem that had come out clearly shows that 49 pieces were. 49 marks were there on the body of Renuka Swami. He was thrashed, beaten badly. There were electric shocks that were given to him during that time. So the postmortem itself is even giving out gory details of this murder. So all these things were the reason for which Darshan was in jail for all these days. And now the charge sheet was filed by the police. And after this, the trial had begun. And this trial, from the day one, Judge Darshan had been asking for a bail on medical grounds with regards to his spine injury. Yesterday, also, a report was submitted by his lawyer to the court where it clearly mentioned that the situation in his spine is aggravating, and if it's not treated immediately, then he might have a problem. That is when a decision, the court asked him whether any government hospital could do this procedure or not. That time, Victoria Hospital and Bowring Hospital were given as the two options. But the opposition lawyer of Darshan had said that if something wrong happens, who's going to take blame? Because Darshan has always gone to a private hospital. So on these basis, finally, after all these hearings and the trial that had begun with regard to charge sheet, Darshan finally now gets bail after 6 weeks. But the murder charges and everything will go on. The court proceedings will go on with regards to the sentencing or with regards to this entire case. But for now, yes, it is a relief for actor Darshan. And we've already heard that from Bellary, where he's been stationed as of now, where he's in jail, in the Bellary jail. There, fans have started coming to the jail, near the jail, and we've also got to know from inside that Darshan has expressed happiness after the court verdict. So we will be seeing him coming out very soon. Now, what will he decide is something that we'll have to wait and watch, Neha.
You to stay with us, Vajiyullah. In fact, we also have an advocate's reaction coming in to Darshan's bail. Let's quickly take a listen.
We have filed an application for interim bail on the ground of medical. So he has to undergo medical treatment. We have produced some documents before the Honorable High Court. And also High Court has called some documents with respect to the medical ailment of the Darshan. On perusing of those documents, High Court has granted the interim bail for a period of 6 weeks. Yes, the High Court has further directed us to surrender his passport. We are complying those conditions. So we don't still now we don't know the conditions, further conditions. We have to say with looking the bail order of the Honorable High Court. I don't know, sir. I can say only after looking of the documents, the certificate copy of order.
Right, Vaji, coming back to you, his interim bail was opposed by the prosecutor who claimed that the medical documents lacked specificity. How did the prosecutor really react to the interim bail granted to actor Darshan?
Well, Neha, yesterday's court proceeding was very interesting. The lawyer of Darshan Singh, Nagesh had presented documents, medical documents showing that, yes, there is a problem in the spine and it is something that is aggravating and it has to be rectified as fast as possible, and is something that Darshan has been complaining for time and again. But the police lawyers had clearly said that the government checkup that was done a few weeks back clearly showed that it is not something that is aggravating. So this particular report is something that has to be scrutinized and checked all over again. And that is when the judge has asked whether any government hospital could do this entire procedure or not. And then options like Victoria Hospital and Bowring Hospital were provided at that particular point of time. But the police lawyer and the prosecutor has also put a caveat saying that the whole issue is that if Darshan goes out, then we'll have to find a there should be a medical board that has to be set up so that that medical board monitors the entire thing. But then that also was not granted today when the decision was taken, because if the medical board would have set up, then Darshan would be brought to Bangalore and then he would be placed under the medical board, which will look into the problems of Darshan and would give him the kind of treatment, and he would still be a part of, and then you still be in the custody of the police at that particular point of time. But right now, the court took a decision that they would give him interim bail because that is a part of his fundamental right also, unless and until he's still an accused in this matter. There is no conviction yet. On this basis, on the basis of fundamental ground, because on the past we have seen Asaram Bapu, DK Shiv Kumar, all these kind of people getting bail on the basis of medical ground, and it's on these bases they have given. And also, the court did not want to take it upon themselves on where he wants to do his treatment, because that is something that Darshan has a right to. And he had also expressed yesterday in the court that Apollo Hospital in Mysore is something that he prefers to go to, because that is where he's been treating himself since childhood, and they know his medical history. So today the court finally decided that it is up to Darshan, whichever hospital he wants to choose, whether it could be Bangalore, it could be Mysore. So that decision will now be waited, because as of now, the only relief that he knows is that he's got bail. What will happen next, which hospital he will go to, whether it be Bangalore or Mysore, Darshan will let us know in the coming days. His lawyers will let us know. But the bail order that he's got is on the basis of 6 weeks interim bail on medical grounds. He will have to submit his passport and he'll have to give the details of his medical report in the coming 1 week on what is happening to the court. So on these basis, he's been granted bail, and on these basis, he will be deciding now on which hospital he will avail to for the proceedings for the spine injury that he has.
Right. Thank you very much, Vaji, for joining us with all of those important insights. We have another advocate's reaction coming in. Let's get across.
The court has considered our application and has granted an interim relief of 6 weeks, for a period of 6 weeks. In the first week, we have to produce the documents, medical documents about how to go about the treatment and what is the plan of treatment. Regarding those medical documents, where I'll be getting admitted, all of those documents I'll have to be provided. I'll have to produce it before the court, honorable court. Now the court has granted an interim relief of 6 weeks, for a period of 6 weeks for my treatment, and so by subject to conditions that I surrender my passport before the trial court, and other conditions with regard to surety. We are still waiting for the certified copy to be obtained. Once we get the certified copy, we'll get to know what are the conditions, other conditions which has been imposed in the order.